This is Charleston's retirement coach, Brandon Bowen.
I think it's tragic how many people are so worried about retirement, so afraid of it, they have so much fear over so many things.
Yep.
These are people that are hardworking, that are successful, people that come to you, have $500,000, million, on up amount of money saved, and they still have so much worry, Brandon. I mean, you see it every day.
That's right. The fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what fear is.
They've never retired before.
Right.
They've also never had to invest for income before. Right. So yes. So they're just thinking back like, okay, well, good thing I've had this income from my job all these years and I've been investing for growth. But like, I can remember the 2008 crash, the 2000 crash, all these times where it was super scary, but at least I wasn't retired or retiring back then. So now it's kind of like, oh boy, if this were to happen again and I've already walked away from my employer,
well, how would I fare?
I'm going to run out of money. Yeah, we're going to she's counting on me or he's counting on me. And there's so many questions for a space you've never been before. So that's why it's so vital to get this second opinion.
Let's talk about this article in USA Today on usatoday.com, speaking to this very conversation. We're going to talk about Gen Xers. And if you are listening right now and you're thinking to yourself, I'm a Gen Xer, I'm not old enough to retire. Well, Brandon and I we're with you. We're in the Gen X generation.
Yeah.
And
so what is it? Do you know the age, the years?
So it used to be, actually, I'm in a weird space. I was born in 79 and it used to be, I was considered a Zennial. I'm not an Xer. I'm without people 78 to 82. If you're without generation, you're not a Gen Xer. You're not a millennial.
Yeah.
So I think what they've done now is, okay, if you were born after 80, you're a millennial. If you're born in the 70s, you're an Xer.
I'm 78. Yeah. You're 79. So I guess we're talking to the 50-ish.
50-ish.
People
well,
in there,
that's the thing 50s. Is that the oldest Xers are now 60. That's the top end of this generation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So the article that on usatoday.com was actually titled, "For Gen X, Retirement Bites." Wah, wah.
Meaning like it's not rad? Is that what we're saying?
Apparently. So the article went on to say that Gen Xers don't think they've saved enough for retirement. They wish they had started saving sooner. They fear outliving their savings. They're also worried about a stock market crash because you're talking about a group of people, our people that lived through the 2000s, that lived through 2008. Now, fortunately, we've seen the benefits of the last decade, the market run. We've had a couple of dips, but for the most part, this crazy bull run we've been on. And we're so worried about what if 2008 happens in our retirement when we're withdrawing from our savings. So, I mean, you're in the office every day. You're talking to people. And as you're starting to see more Gen Xers come in, are you seeing these fears? What are you saying to help comfort people, help build back their confidence?
Mm-hmm. We are. So if we had people coming into when we have people coming in from 50 to 55, maybe 60, they're still thinking a lot of times they might even ask me, okay, Brandon, how much do we need to get? What's that number that we've got to save to, how much do we have to have in the bank or in our portfolio so that we can retire? Because they're still in that building, maybe the last quarter of it, I would say maybe. Kind of a good broad answer to that might be 12 times your annual income right now.
Okay.
So that would be a good way to do some quick math based on what, if you and your spouse are still working, add up your, total income that you'll have for the year this year times 12. And that, then you're okay. Now you might be, especially if you've got debts paid off, things like that, and you've done some really good things. You could be in a space where that kind of a portfolio could generate an income similar to what you're used to right now. Okay.
Yep.
Because a lot of times our spending does not go down in retirement. A lot of people, I don't know, maybe they don't think.
Especially the first few years.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
The first 10 years of retirement, are you kidding? We've been putting off your whole life, all these things. Mm-hmm. So now you're wanting to travel, you're wanting long trips too, because you don't have to come back.
That's right. Nobody's waiting us to return to the office.
That's right. So you go find an Airbnb in Europe. And if you've wanted to spend a month in Italy, that's like the first thing I'm doing when I get there.
Yeah.
Or where, yes, you take these long trips because you don't have to be back.
Yep.
Right. So the first 10 years, it's that postcard retirement.
Okay. Yeah.
You've gone from paychecks, now your play checks that your portfolio is providing for you. And so, so you're wanting to do that. You've probably got grandkids now in the picture as well. So you're wanting to just spoil them. And
Sure.
if they live out of town, you're wanting to go there, right? All this stuff. So for this age group, you're still trying to kind of get to that point. But yes, you've got those fears and concerns that a market crash. But some other problems that I see, and this is so true. I'm thinking of some of my Gen X clients that came in here this past week. They sat down. So let me give you a quick background on them.
Mm-hmm.
They made great income, as good. Charleston's great about that. We've got some really good opportunities here in town. So they had great salaries, but because they've bounced around and kind of climbed that ladder here and there,
mm-hmm.
they don't have any longevity at any one specific company. So there's no pension.
Got it.
In play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're looking at their plan, and it's like, Brandon, all we have are these 401ks and IRAs.
Yep.
And then Social Security. Of course, for us Gen Xers, we don't know what that's going to look like for us down the road. So let's just plan on maybe 75% of what we're being told right now. But it might be later ages
mm-hmm.
of when we can start filing for that thing. But you're probably trying to put the plan together. Okay, well, how much longer do I need to work to get to that number that Brandon was talking about? And so you're pursuing that growth. So how long do we stay on that roller coaster is a really, really good question to start thinking about. How long do we stay all S&P 500, QQQ, tech sector, just pedal all the way on the floor, going
mm-hmm.
as fast as this car will go?
Mm-hmm.
How long are we going to do that? Well, my answer here at Bowen Wealth, what's so nice about my clients, if you could talk to them, what they would tell you is that they love having our market guard portfolios. Okay. And these are portfolios that you have to be working with me. I'm the only one here in Charleston who has these market guard portfolios. And they're super smart models that we have, and they all can do different things. We've got some that are growth focused. We've got some that are even blockchain, right? We've got crypto, we've got, emerging tech, we've got dividends, ETFs, individual stocks. So there's so many things. It's like a big buffet that I will help you build your meal here, help you decide what you want.
Okay.
But we go through there and we assign a certain amount of money to each one of these strategies here. And basically what Market Guard does is it goes out there and it analyzes the market every day. Okay. So it helps give us some very, very important signals. And let me first say, we know there's tons of research. We know that 92% of your success in the market here, as far as your portfolio success, 92% comes from your asset allocation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How are you allocated? How much in stocks? How much in bonds? How much in fixed income? Right? So your asset allocation is going to determine your success 92% of the time. Okay. So we've got to get that part right.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to decide how much are we going to keep at risk? How much are we going to kind of pull back on the aggressiveness, put some guardrails up on that money? How much are we going to appoint for income, right? So we build the proper asset allocation. Once we've done that, now Market Guard is watching the markets, and it gives us signals of when do we want to buy? When do we want to hold that position? When do we want to sell? Okay. And then maybe when do we re-enter the market? Okay.
Right.
If we have a big hairy crash coming at some point, which we will, Market Guard has got a great track record of giving us these super important indicators. Okay. And this is a big difference from an active manager compared to just passive investing. Okay.
Yeah.
So the way you can, think about your portfolio. If you're doing it yourself at work, well, it's probably passive. If you're with an advisor, how often are they making changes and updating and tweaking? Maybe it's only you're on your annual review, or maybe 6 months. And even that, it might just be a little rebalancing here and there.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm talking about is super thoughtful, proactive, active management, where if certain companies or sectors start to sell off, well, we're able to make changes there, when our models tell us to. Okay. So it's active management. It's great. And that's what I believe, if you're a Gen X or even in, a boomer, no matter what your stage, the money that you're going to risk, whether it's still working towards retirement or in retirement, you've got to have these market guard portfolios. And so what I want to make available for you right now listening is a complimentary portfolio X-ray. Okay. This X-ray is where all you have to do is just bring in your statements, download those, maybe your most recent monthly statement, send those. You can bring them into the office or you can email them over. And then I'm going to have my team, we're going to go through and we're going to provide a portfolio X-ray where we go through and we look at, okay, are you taking the same amount of risk as you think you're taking?
Right.
Almost always I find that people are too aggressive or more aggressive than they thought.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll look at your risk. We'll look at the cost of those investments. Okay. If you're in mutual funds, I was looking at some today and those expense ratios for these mutual funds were at 0.85% on top of the advisor's 1%.
Okay. Yeah.
It's so crazy with this X-ray here, it can show you like what the problems are. It's like an X-ray at the doctor. You're like, oh, yep, there you go. You got a broken bone. Well, that's where the pain is coming from here. Mm-hmm. This X-ray is going to be able to look past the front, the facade here and show us, are you overpaying for your investments? Are you taking too much risk? Right. So, and just make sure that your portfolio is aligning with your goals.
Okay.
Yep. So if you've saved $500,000 or more, and today I want to make this available for those 50 and above. Okay. 50 and above. If you've saved $500,000 or more, pick up the phone. Here's my phone number, 843-890-2400.
843-890-2400. Again, is that number to call to set a time on the calendar to meet with Brandon for your portfolio X-ray. You can also text that same number. Just text the word X-ray, 843-890-2400.
Thanks for listening to Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. To learn more, visit bowenwealth.com and join Brandon for his radio show, Charleston's Retirement Coach, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 94.3 WSC.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Brandon Bowen is licensed in your state, please call 843-203-2030. J. Brandon Bowen is an investment advisor representative of Bowen Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. J. Brandon Bowen is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Bowen Wealth, LLC, insurance licensed in South Carolina. Market Guard is a registered investment advisor with the SEC and provides model portfolios only to Impact Partnership Wealth. Market Guard makes no implied warranties or representations and is not liable for any data presented.